Tervetuloa takaisin Justice for Allin läpipelusen. Siitä on muutama päivä, kun mä oon pelannut tätä. Tänään piti itse asiassa upaat tämä episodi YouTubeen, mutta taitaa jäädä huomiselle olettaen, että mä saan tämän episodin nyt tehtyä tässä. Jakson vetää tämän. Adrian did it. That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. Mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer, dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. Yeah. We must get a complete acquittal today. Näinköhän on. Onko tämä viimeinen video? Tai tässä tulee varmaan ehkä part 2 tätä materiaalia, mutta onko näin, että saadaan toi vapaaksi tässä videossa? Tosin pitää löytää se oikea murhe, että sitten pitää tutkia sitä, että joo, ei tää lopu vielä tähän. I know, but I can't focus on my situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. It's him. This is right. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say it, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. Grr. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts, and even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait. The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer, dude, who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Voisin pistää nyt... No ei, on se ihan hyvä. Mun äänikin jossakin syystä just menee keltaiselle. En tiedä miksi. Yleensä se on tässä just näillä mailla ollut silleen just sopiva, mutta no en tiedä, ihan sama. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt and God. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss von Kama? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor, please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor von Kama has... This morning, Miss von Kama was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Shot? Somehow. I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present. Miss von Kama is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Miss von Kama, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. Phew. You are... I thought he showed up. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca von Kama cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Miss Wanakama was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Engard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe? The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for is interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Bare facts of the case. Ja opsikaatu. Piti ottaa tää kokonaan alussa, koska tässä jää pari dialogi-ikkunaa, ruutua, boksia näkemättäni. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes award ceremony, sir. No jäi tässä jäänyt kuin tuo yksi. The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the case of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. As the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room. Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their rooms, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes award ceremony, sir. Could you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal, the ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during the 30 minutes break period. Please continue with your testimony, detective. The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his hotel room. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you are talking about? She's the defendant, Matt Engard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. So she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Engard. Olisiko sulla Engarde? No, ihan sama minä Engard. Illa. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see, and that's when she found the victim's body. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. The cause of death, wasn't that because Mr. Corridor was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so horrendous as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana. Banana? His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir. Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Then, what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Huon's autopsy report, time of death 8 viistossa, was strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. At first we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The jamming ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? The fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but the only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory then. Empty. Guitar case, empty. There is some water, but only on top of the lid. Pescorator's fingerprints. Pitäisikö olla sen nimi Juan Corrida? Riva, Corrida. Se on espanjani. Se pitää huutaa aina sille innokkaasti. Mennään sillä Corridalla. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel at that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Corina, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So the guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matty and God? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Why arrest Ingard? Matt Ingard and Juan Corrida were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jamming Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Ingard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought a knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly. So, knife, breast victim's blood and Ingard's fingerprints in the Gatewater is engraved. And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? Jimmy Ninja's button was ripped from his costume, is covered in Corrida's blood found in Engar's Hakama. All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Joanna. Ready to give in yet, right? I'll find the hole in your arguments somehow. You can press as hard as you'd like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Matt and Garden in one corridor were huge rivals with each other. But in terms of popularity, Mr. Engard won, did he not? Yeah, but you know what's ironic, well? One corridor was also one step behind Mr. Engard in everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally got up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Corrida lost the Grand Prix in the end. That is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. But just 1 second here. Mr. Engard was beating Mr. Corrida in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eye, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. Yes, I quite agree. Well, the detective... is not... well... I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. That's... I look forward to your pension negotiations. No! Now, detective, let's continue with the testimony. No, not my poor pension too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir. What about what I was saying? Hello, anyone? As for evidence, there's the Champion Ninja's button. Do you have any proof that button belonged to the victim? Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off the Champion Ninja's costume. Huh? But can't you tell by just looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward. Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir. Alright, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Time to reel this one in. Thread. Huh? The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And the thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. It was ripped off of the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Engard's Hakama. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Corrida. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Hey, what is he trying to say about me here? The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Huh? What do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh, is this what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that. I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over this knife. There is no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So is the defendant the owner of this knife then? The defendant bought a knife for the crime, which makes this premeditated murder. Tästä mä vähän miettisin että se mitä sitä ostanut, kun sehän oli en mä sitä vielä näytän pressaa ensin, mutta tämähän oli siis, eikö se ole se Gatewater Hotel? Olisiko täällä mitään omistajaa tai jotain? Sanoisiko kukaan taas mitään sitä Gatewaterista? Ei. No, se on mun mielestä se. No, pressataan kuitenkin eka. There's no way this was premeditated murder, even if he bought a knife. Sorry, pal, this isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either. Well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was premeditated murder, we are done for. Phoenix. Yeah, yes. There's something very interesting about what the detective just said. What the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late. Miksi sä vois sitten pointata näitä? Miksi mun pitää vaivata päätäni näillä? Tosin kyllä mä tiedän sen vastauksen. Mä oon aika varma, kuten sanoin jo, mutta a button covered in the victim's blood and a knife with Engar's fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. We are still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be, okay, Phoenix? Tullaan käyty kaikki läpi. Ihan varmuuden vuoksi pistetään tuohon save. Ja tähän presentaan sen puukkoon. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has a Gatewater seal set on the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. Hyvin muistan kyllä, näinkö monen päivän jälkeen vielä. Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel. Which means this murder was not premeditated. Yes, and that is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not, he has already been determined. How? How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this. But I didn't know. Oh. The question is, where did this knife come from? Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Miss Corridor's room. Sorry, Joanna, but that is incorrect. The victim last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on the top of the table. There's a knife and a fork on the table. And then, when the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt Ingard. Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Engard's knife was missing. Mr. Engard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. Seems like Edgeworth had this planned from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your honest time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, that gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? Mitäs mulla sattuisi olemaan? Mulla on tää lasi, mutta... Actually, I do. There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance, and only one. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. Lähtee kaikki. You may now present one, and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? This is a wine glass, is it not? Please, look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do you say? All have to say? What do you all have to say? Well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth, what is it, Joanna? Your opinion. You don't need my opinion, because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. But the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example, she could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright. Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? It's possible. It's possible that is what happened. There's nothing that points to Miss Andrews not being the one who set the cup down. If I raise an objection here, that would only make the judge slam his gavel down. You can't think like that, Miss Phoenix. Mia, right now you are hanging on by a very thin thread. Anything else you can grab onto right now is better than nothing. So in other words, push as far as we can go. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. You have turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Miss Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? You're not thinking hard enough today, Wright. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then, of course, it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. Fingerprints. There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were of one and Adrian Andrews. What? One glass found next to the victim is filled with dominated juice and press Andrews' fingerprints. This is why I said that the person who had discovered that the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? I can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corrida. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Now do you see, Now do you see, right? You can change any part of my scenario, as it explains everything all too well. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Wright. Miss Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness. Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? Se haluaa hävitä tämän case. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Gotcha. That G-O-T-C-H-A. I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier. Oh, Edgy boy, it's been what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me. I saw the report with her testimony. But who knew that under that helmet? It was the wicked wish of the witness stand. I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm gonna tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with a terrible crime. Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all that this court needs to know. Oof, shush. I'm talking to my dear H. Reggie right now. Don't interrupt us tramps. Yes, madam. No, please, by all means interrupt her, please. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please. It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Reggie. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct? Correct, Miss Oldback. It was a great job being able to see my dear Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean you were a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy over the Engard. That Engard, saying that he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me, I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Corrida. But those two were the same age. Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night. Very well, please tell the court that what you witnessed the night of the murder. Leave it to me, Etchipuu. Mausmeltu pakli. Jatketaan. What you witnessed. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. Just when someone showed up, there was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was Engard, Matt Engard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. Missä sä tiedät, se oli Engard? So Mr. Engard came out from the victim's room. See, tää on niinku déjà vu. Samassa keississä, missä sinä olet viimeksi mukana. Oletko ihan varma, että se oli hän? See, it has to be him. He's the murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. Miss Oldback, what was your post on that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show, but I refused to help. I'll have you know, it was for that lead-headed samurai show. I even took out a few of the nails. Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on. Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. So I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little. And that's when you went to hang around the victim's door. That was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Something you were interested in, and just what was that? It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. And Etchipuu, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. At least by gossip, Joanna. Gossip? But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. It looks like we shouldn't force it right now. And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. Oh, then should you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Corrida's room? I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20 I quit keeping track of how old I really am. Yes, well that would explain why your age was not included in the report. In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct? That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. Who in the world was that? I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room. He was. Yes, he was. I'm too scared, I can't say his name out loud. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Francisca's whip right about now. Well, I guess I can tell you, since he was such a bad boy anyway. It was Engard, Matt Engard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. You saw my client? Are you sure about that? Yes, same. Really? Annoying brat, when I say I saw someone, I saw that person. How do I get a sense of déjà vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. The person's clothes. Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are, really, as if something like that matters. But it does. Now what was it? Oh yes, it was that thing. What thing? That quarter thing he's always wearing, that racing jacket. He was wearing that at the detention center too. That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men. Right. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? Ei tästä mä varmaan sekoiteta, jos vaan sanon väärin, mut... Mä latasin tän pelin enkä tallentanut. Jatketaan kohta tosta, minkä me jäätiin. No niin, nyt tallennetaan. It was not important. I guess it really wasn't that important after all. Mr. Wright, do you know why we say time is valuable? If not, I suggest you learn. We have wasted 3 minutes of this woman's youth, just more valuable than gold to me. Why do I suddenly feel old in the presence of her childish whining? She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us, really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She's strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? That's because you are not the one who has to question her. Pressataan tätä uudestaan. The person's face. Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail. You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes and his effeminate lips. His right eye covered by his silky hair, his sparkling, shining teeth. His teeth were shining? Well, he's shining all around him this week's pin-up poster, dearie. This week's pin-up? What do you... why do you? I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that night. What? Engard's face is the same no matter where it is, you know, you whippersnapper. So, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now important or relevant in any way? it was very important. Of course it was important, Joanna. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of the testimony was important. You don't really have to put it that way to get me to say, Mr. Wright, there is something much more valuable than a person's pride, and that is time. Please don't waste this court's precious time with worthless questions. Yes, Joanna, I think I just wasted a good favor. She may not remember things. Käydään vielä se kolmas vaihtoehto läpi. Mä skippasin sen vahingossa. What the person was carrying? What was the man you saw carrying? In which hand? His right or left? His left hand. Left. Now this is a real mess. I mean, I can't be expected to answer such a vague question. Indeed, please be more specific with your question, Miss Wright. Sorry. What was the man you saw carrying in his right hand? He wasn't carrying anything in that hand. Then how about his left? Empty. Well, this whole thing has been a lot of nothing. So, Mr. Wright. It was very important. Se ei lisännyt siihen sen testimoniin. Olisin voinut tohon koittaa väittää, että sillä olisi pitänyt olla se puukko mukana. No, koitetaan keksiä tähän joku johonkin näistä ristiriita. Joo, niin se varmaan teet. Tässä te sanoit, että ei vielä. It looks like we shouldn't force it right now. Jeps, ei vaihtunut. Ei muuttunut. En eteenpäin. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. Ei ole tohon mitään vastaan väittävää. Tätä me ollaan yritetty pressata. Se on kaikki mitä mä siihen pystyn sanomaan. No, koitetaan tätä. Ei. Ei mä oon ihan jumissa, mulla ei mitään hajua nyt. Näetkö sä tuon sen? Tää on niinku, tän pitäis olla ristiriita. Niin muuten joo. Tämän piti olla olevinaan se hakaamassa ja se oli olevinaan sen omissa vaatteissa. Mitä mä nyt sanoisin se? Keksin kaksikin, mutta kun ei sen suostu lisäämään sen testimoneihin. Eikä noin kelpaa niille. Ei, pakko kysyä apua. Hienosti video eteenpäin, en muista ottaa pauseja pois. Mut joo, luin että mä olin oikealla jäljellä kyllä. Mut sanoin tähän ensimmäisen jo sen väärin, että mä sen sanoa samat asiat, mutta the person's clothes, kuten otin ensimmäisellä kerralla. Joo, kyllä mä oon käyn läpi. Sitten mä sanoin että it was not important. Ja se sanoo samaa juttuja koko ajan, että se kuka oli nyt very important. Tämä on very important, ne muut ei ollut. It was very important. Of course it was important, Joanne. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of the testimony was important. Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request that the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. Ja sieltä mä saan sen. I don't quite see where you are going with this, but alright. Witness, please. Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without a reason, but if I must. He was wearing his flashy racing jacket, and as it's always for show. Ja en pressannut sitä viimeksi, mutta no en kyllä pressaa vieläkään. Ihan sama, nyt mä tiedän mitä tähän vastaa. Tätä mä en kattonut, mutta hyvällä arvauksella totesin tämä. Tai siis hyvällä tiedolla totesit sun tämä. Miss Oldback. What? Don't say my name for no reason. Do you know what this is? It's a button number 2 on the German Ninja's costume. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this. Come on up. Wow, she really is a die-hard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was covered on Mr. Encart's body during... Discovered on Mr. Encart's body during full body search. See? This button proves that beyond a shadow of the doubt that's rascal Encart. He's caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai hakama pants. See? And Encart is a nickel samurai. Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination. But just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Encart, was wearing his usual racing jacket? I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wear the trendiest dress, but instead I have to put up with wearing this ridiculous... This outfit is hideous, right? It's heavy, so heavy I wish it would be switched to a CD. Dream alive photos. Understand? Now that you look in the mirror, your clothes, documentary on curling, you should just... Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw is, in actuality, was not Mr. Encart, the man, but Mr. Encart, the nickel samurai. But when you think about it, they are really one and they are really one and the same anyway. Miss Oldback, this is very important point we are talking about. Ichibu, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. Alright, if you insist. I should be the one sighing, not you. Who I saw. Encart. Yes, now I remember. The nickel samurai, that's right. It was the nickel samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage so right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that nickel samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. I knew it. I knew you would say he was inside that costume. What? Did you think that there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy, thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. Young'uns today, I told you, there's no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so, and what I say is the truth. At least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. In God, yes, now remember. Would you please get on with your testimony? What's your language, young man? What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. What? A striking figure by the sea, standing all alone, is he. He's a nickel samurai. She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and stick to just the facts. Okay, you promise, right? Right, I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. Remind me to say you a thank you not later to Edgeworth, old chum. The nickel samurai, that's right, it was the nickel samurai that I saw. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago you said he was wearing his racing jacket, now he's not. Not too long ago. Then let me ask you this, when you were itty bitty, what was your grand dream? Huh? What did you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper? A dream, huh? Well, I wanted to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public court. So what? See? And look at where you are now. You are not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you? Well, what I said earlier. Who puts any weight into things like that? The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past. Since when did court become theatrics over testimonies? All that matters is that man was inside that costume. Isn't that enough? Yes. It's an achievement. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. And why would that be? That way, no one could see his face, of course. But there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think that the costume would make him stand out all the more. You're such an annoying child, you know that. You disagree with everything I say. Isn't that what you are always doing to me? I got it. Maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage right after the crime, you know. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing, and that included the Jamija Ninja. Of course it included him. That's why when Engard came out of Dear Juan's room, I didn't give it a second thought. I see. Well, anyway. So he must have worn the nickel samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. So let me ask you one last time. The The person you saw, it fully was a nickel samurai. As show as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Cannot throw in the towel yet. You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in her testimony and it's sitting in plain sight. Miksi sä vaikka kertois mikä se on? The question is what that contradiction means for us. Well, I have to figure out what you are talking about first, but okay. Mitä on sanottavaa? Tuohon the nickel samurai, that's right, it was the nickel samurai that I saw. No ei oo tohonkaan nyt mitään vastaan vedettävää. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to read his costume. No, he had to go to the boss ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. Mutta se en Garde ei ollut kuullutkaan koitusta, että ja kun siis sen jälkeen piti olla presskonferenssi. Niin. Eka toi post-ceremony ja sitten sen jälkeen presskonferenssi. Nyt mä ymmärrän. Sehän ei varsinaisesti puukottunut sitä, kun sen kuristi sen. Ei sitten. Teknisesti ottaen se myös kyllä puukotti sitä, mutta please take a look at this. Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you are trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No, that's not my intention at all. It's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Joanna, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you are driving at? That is exactly what I am driving at. What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving? If Mr. Engard was really in the nickel samurai costume at the time of the murder, sitä ei olisi jäänyt sormenjälkiä, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Ei ollut kyllä ihan se, mikä mulla oli mielessä, mutta joo. Nyt kun mainitsit, että sillä olisi ollut ne hanskat kädessä. Oh, that's right. The nickel samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There is no way he would do something like that. However, there is one possibility. And let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as a nickel samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim. Yes, I've heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. Smiley. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? No sit sille ei olisi ollut se ei olisi ollut premeditated murder. Think about it one more time. I think I need a little more time on this one. So let me get this straight. Edgeworth theory goes like this. Smiley. Niin se vaan totesin uudestaan. Okay. There is a contradiction. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. Okei, kyllä se puhuu samasta asiasta. Tosiaan en tiedä mikä pointti sillä on, se ihan hirveästi. No joo, no. Yksi tärkeä. En sinänsä. No vähän niinku evidenssi, mikä se on suomeksi. Todistusmateriaali on motiivi. Jos motiivia ei ole, niin se on vähän niinku puuttuva todistusmateriaali. What are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Engard was the killer. If that's the case. Eli varoittelee, että saadaan näyttää lifea tässä kohta. Pistää on save. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Siis hetkonen, mitä? Et sä saanut sillä oliko syy mennä sinne? I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Olisiko ne halunnut mennä puhumaan Adrianista? Minä tiedä. Naturally, you point to the one piece with the least value, but with such vigor. Enjoy your youth while you can. Humans don't live forever. Neither do lawyers. You so like to think you can bluff your way out of things, don't you? Phoenix, pay attention. Let's pretend for a second that Miss Engard is the murderer. Not from that angle. If he didn't have a murderous intent from the very beginning, then that means there is a certain object that shouldn't be at the crime scene, right? A certain thing? What certain thing? How are you doing over there? Busy collecting your thoughts? Alright, let's give this one more try, and with even more spirit this time. Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Engard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Niin, no siis tää mulla oli jo mielessä äsken, että miksi sillä olisi ollut se puukku ylipäätään mukana. This knife. This was used by Mr. Engard at dinner. Yes, pretty established of that. Which means that if my client was in fact the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Miss Decorator. I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that was true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from the supposition one. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means that the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide the identity and mislead us. Order, order I say, order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To frame Matt Encard is to frame my client, Mr. Encard, of course. To frame. Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? But we just established that the witness saw the nickel samurai in costume. And if it were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Witness! Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Echipu? Witness, did you or did you not really see the nickel samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but... Are you saying you mixed up Mr. Encard with the nickel samurai, his character on TV? But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of the doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the nickel samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the nickel samurai. Alright then, who were you waiting around for then? That's top secret, anyone outside of security. I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Corrida. Am I correct, witness? The way you think, you are a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? Solberg was waiting around in front of the victim's room, but it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Corrida. Maybe Phoenix. Maybe the old bag was waiting around for that person. If it's who I think Mia's hiding at, it's certainly possible. Miss Oldback. You were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? Mä en kerännyt tallentaa. No, mulla on arvelus, että tämä... Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Encard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Oh, this is... Well, this is... Ha, I see. It just seems to be really into the article. It can't be called such a thing. Then this manager with the initials AA. Are you saying it's Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well. Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sovereignty confidentiality stuff then. Oh, witness? What in the world are you? Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. But what for? Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all of that. Well, Mr. Ashworth, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this, however, I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about this secret information. Get ready. This is going to take the wind out of you young'uns. I'm sure we are all capable of handling this. Really, so not like we are 10 years old. Secret information. The Encard is one evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with you, Juan. I can't condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? The defendant sent his manager, but it is distasteful to beg for this court. What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant? Never heard of that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? We have looked into this matter and found that the truth the article proposes is, in fact, baseless gossip. But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. So this means I have to smash this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful, the old back seems rather excited right now. That's right, Engard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth. Well, as the old saying goes, you've got to burn old backs with fire. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. Secret information. Engard is one evil man. Mä voisin ottaa se pakilla. But Engard is one evil man. You can't say something like that without proof. That's just slander. But it's true. That woman was getting intimate with poor Juan. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager to the stars, Miss AA. The name of the magazine this came from is Gossipland. What? Are you saying that gossip is all just pack of lies? What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% truth. Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip. Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright. Discriminate? What did I do? Anything like that? When did I do anything like that? Anyway, Engard will never get me to say touché. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. A scandal? What do you mean by that? You are a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days? No, I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. Even I know that much. Well, that Engard thought he could own a monopoly on popularity. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. You don't have any proof that Miss Engard did any such thing. You must be suffering from shock, the shock of hearing the truth. And now, since you are in so much shock, you can't do anything right. You are right, I can't do anything. But boy do I wish I could do something about you. Alright then, Sonny, show me what you've got. Can you show me proof that Engard didn't bear any ill will towards Juan? Se nyt ei kyllä. Sanotaan, että mun pitäisi valita, että joku Decline the offer to present. I don't have anything to offer. See? Just as I thought. You were lecturing me about saying things without proof. You've just given me a free pass to say whatever I want whenever I want, silly boy. Me and my big mouth. That's the way the cookie crumbles. For you anyway. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. So what do you mean by I took action? Like I already told you, I was lying in wait close to the crime scene. Once the slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was going to capture her and teach her a good lesson, something you young'uns need. You were going to teach her a good lesson? I was going to make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun. Like this. No, stop. Well, it was too bad that the woman didn't come through the door that night. Oh, and this is top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over. Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information? Huh? Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. It's secret. Even if you drilled a hole into my brain, you'll never find out. How in the world did that old bat get such a secret piece of information? Press fed. If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got this secret information, you won't get to go home today. Edgy Pooh, what are you doing? Help me. What do I have to do with this? Just do this for me. You'll get your reward. I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. The witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering. As long as we don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. Will it all back get her inside information? There has to be something I can use to figure it out. Sounds like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? But you can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. There has to be something we can catch her on. Yeah, and when I find it, I'm going to press the heck out of it. No, pistään tähän save. Eikö se ollut tämä? Koetetaan keksiä jotain. So no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Eltback? Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that. Witness. I had to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? Lotan kameralla. Musta tuntuu, että sä tiedät se Lotan kautta, mutta joko se kamera tai sitten se Lotta itse. The investigative photographer Lada Hart. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note that she had written to herself. She reported such a thing. On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her outrageous impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. What? Outrageous ideas, you say? No. I said impressions. Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless. Ah, that's it. That's a note. No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. Then you are the one who took Miss Hart's note. I'm a huge fan of worms, that's why. That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with that evil Engard. She said so herself. And God, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Edgy Pooh, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this just this once. She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? Paljon more pressure. Anteeksi, on läpässä eteenpäin. If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness. You said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct? Is this a stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible lonely trash can, that's all. You are lying, damn it, and I can prove it. Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again? Seivataan, mutta mä tiedän kyllä, että se lappu meni sen kameran kanssa hukkaan, mutta mitä mä nyt sitten... No katsotaan. Miss Oldback. I don't believe that I noticed the only thing you stole that night. Kyllä se oli se. Miss Oldback. That note was with the camera. Is inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Laura Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, my speedy $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Why, witness. What is it, Gramps? If you have the note, then it's only logical that you have the camera too. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you are looking for? Ah, that's... What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you. I fall in love and borrow things from people. I think your definition of borrow is a little off. I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, Slamback celebrity photograph extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of pictures she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. Bailiff, check this camera's photos. Hurry. We must examine them at once. Loppuuko tämä tähän? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There's only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please present it to the court. This is the Nickel Samurai. See, I told you, that's the guy I saw. This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. Loda's picture, like photo. Picture taken in the hallway right after the murder. Well, what does all this mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Engard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume. If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is the defendant. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright. The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? If this photo really is decisive, then we are done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lara took, there's... Totta kai siinä on something strange with it. Ei kyllä tiedä mikään, mutta... There's something strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there is nothing strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster. Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you are planning to do, Mr. Wright? Ei ollut se kaukana, mutta pistetään tähän kohtaan CV:stä, koska en tiedä, kun yhtäkkiä peli yllättääkin on silleen, että no ne näytös evidenssiä, että saa tallentaa. Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. When the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? Jep, siellä se tuli. Mä en voi katsoa mun kortunum rekordia. No, se tulee sieltä, mikä se nyt olikaan, Koridan huoneesta, koska tässä on niitä kukkia. Sen huoneessahan ei ollut oikeastaan mitään, niinkö päin se meni. No, koitetaan. The strange thing is somewhere around here, I think. Joo, väärin meni. Somewhere around here, I think. Am I seeing something you all are not? It looks like there was no problem with this photo after all. The problem was with the brain of that lawyer, Joanna. Oh, wait. You're the one who let your last chance fly away from you, Mr. Wright. That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong blah 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 blah. Oliko tämä nyt viimeinen? Ei. Tämä. Varmaan nopeampaa olisi, kun en vaan tallentelisi tälleen, mutta... Tämä on viimeinen. Katsotaan nyt sitä. Olisiko mulla mitään kuvaa siitä, että siis mä menen käymään vessassa. Alright, jatketaan. Klikkaisin vaan, jos tuut. Mihin mä oikein jäin? Mitä mun piti näyttää? Shit. Pääspä tästä taaksepäin. No, eikä mulla... No, koitetaan. Ei kun niin. Niin mun piti katsoa oliko tässä puvussa jotain hassua? Tässä kohtaa ei ainakaan näytetä sitä nappia. Okei, se on vaan... Okei, noinkin yksinkertainen. It's this person here, of course. You mean the nickel samurai? And what is wrong with that? At the time of the murder, Mr. Engard was in his own room. Which means this nickel samurai... If you think that's all it takes, you should reconsider your choice of occupation. I think it's about time you retired. It looks like there was no problem with this photo after all. Ai, okei, tää kello on. Okei. Okei, ei se ollutkaan niin yksinkertainen. Kattelas nyt näitä kuvia. Sillä on tommonen... nikkelikäsi ilmeisesti. Tommonen viuhka tossa päällä. Ehkä se on kaikki mitä tarvii. Tossa se ei ollut se henkilö. Ai, tässä mä pystyn katsomaan sitä. Aisin kättäkin kyllä näy. Koitin klikata noita aaltoja tossa. Siinä on noin viuhka tossa joo ja siinä on noin mutterit ja... Mä oon koittanut tuote, mä oon koittanut nallee tai... No nyt en kyllä keksi. Mitään muutakaan tässä nyt pitäisi sitten olla. Mä luntaan. Choose the white part on the front of the left foot. Okei, se on siinä jalassa. Kyllä se näyttää oikealta. Siinä on tuo vuori ja siinä on nuo aallot. Okei. En tiedä miksi, mutta okei. Ehkä tää on se nappi, että tässä ei kelpaa oikein jalka, pitää olla vasen jalka. Is this person? Yeah, of course. Eikö se piti klikata valkoisessa kohtaa? Missään kohtaa ei kyllä mun mielestä tullut edes selville, että niin varsinaisesti missä kohtaa se nappi oli sen hakaamassa. Is this person right? What's wrong with that? At the time of the murder he was... Joo. Ei ku... Choose the white part on the front of the left foot. The front. Choose the white part on the front of the left foot. Nyt ei kyllä tosta luntessakaan mitään apua. Niin se on foot eikä leg. Niinku toi jalkapöytä tai varpaat. Suomen kielessä onko se vaan pelkkä jalka? On se sitten taas niinku leg ja tää on foot. Tuo. Okei. Ei mitään kärryvettä miksi, mutta I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. What are you pointing at? To his ankles? If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't. And? What does that mean? Hetkonen. Se on liian lyhyt. Sen jalat pitäisi näkyä siinä. Tämä henkilö, joka pitää tätä sen kostyymiä, on liian lyhyt tähän. Okei. Aivan. Tosin tää asento on vähän semmonen, että niinku, jos oot suorassa, pidät jalkoja suorassa, niin se voisi ehkä niinku mennä tuon alle. Mutta kun se venyttää jalkansa tohon, niin se saattaa tulla näkyviin. Että tää on huono kuva kyllä niinku tähän näet. Löytääkseni tämmösen. Tossakin sillä on niinku jalka venyttynä tonne ja se pistäisi jalkansa suoraksi. Se voisi ehkä jäädä tuonne alle, en tiedä. Mut okei, fine, miten vaan. Onneksi on luntti olemassa. And what does that mean? The costume person in this photo could not have been Miss Engard. What is the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate what actual fact that is. What the actual fuck? Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama. His socks. You can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. Clearly? No ei kyllä mun mielestä. Tuossa ei minkäänlaisia ryppyjä piirretty tuohon, että niin se pitäisi sitä ylhäällä. Se vaan roikottaa kättään tossa. Mut selvä silleen lyhyt näihin housuihin. There is only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh? What is it? What is? His breath is unusually calm today. That's true. He's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? Then I haven't damaged his case at all. Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not Matt Engard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. I figured it would come to this. What? Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not Matt Engard. In that case, who is this photo of? Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah, why is he so calm? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph? Ketähän mä silloin epäilin? Se oli siinä heti alussa. Mulla olisi itsellä ollut mielessä, että se olisi ollut se Duck Killer, mutta... Oliko se sitten tämä? Jos ei ollut, niin hypätään takas alkuun ja katsotaan missä ne puhuu. Adrian Andrews? If you want to know who that nickel samurai is, it is none other than this woman. Okei, joo, se oli. And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What is the world points you to her? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she's short, and she can freely move in and out of Mr. Engard's room. Funny, she had dinner with Mr. Engard that night. And how does that all add up? It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Engard's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as a murder weapon. Why don't you just say what it is you want, right? I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Corrida. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Order! It looks like this trial has hit the most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Joanna. This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. Alright, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. One more day. If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya. Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. Well, what am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. Objection. Now then. Please, Joanna, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony if... I abhor wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? Joanna, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Development? I think you underestimate me, Joanna. And what do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. What? What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She is the next witness. Everything was planned out in advance by that man. Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Adrian Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. Exactly. Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. To be continued. Mä en oo pakannut näitä videoita ollenkaan, kun ei oo sinänsä tarvinnut. Nyt tää on 3 osassa tämä pätkä. Pitää mennä pakkaamaan tää. No, minä pistän tässä kohtaa poikki. Niin, tietenkin. Kiitos kun katsoitte ja jatketaan seuraavalla kerralla. En ole jatkamassa tästä sen pidemmälle tätä videoa.